Welcome back to another edition of Mr. D Rants. And again, I'm here to talk about a popular hip-hop icon. Well, two popular hip-hop icons who have a history of causing harm to women. Why? Why another one? One day, internet, I'm planning a positive rant soon. I'm gonna find some positive stuff to talk about. But until then, let's talk about how shitty of a person Chris Brown is. This is Mr. D Rants.
Too many thoughts on my mind, I can't sleep at night, so I just keep writing. I don't need no help, I don't need opinions, so don't waste my time then. I just been living online.
So, for as long as I can remember, Chris Brown has been a very well-known, popular name in the hip-hop community as a whole. Even this year, last year, 2017, years and years, he has his own projects, and he gets featured on songs all the time. I don't know why, he's pretty awful. The inspiration for this rant kind of started with another hip-hop icon who is in the news lately, R. Kelly. He has been in the hip-hop game for much longer than Chris Brown. His criminal history and the allegations that have come against him are kind of next level. He has a history of assault, child pornography, infamously peeing on a 13-year-old girl, and he's had a slew of other allegations and incidents throughout his life. And I bring him up because R. Kelly has become the face of hip-hop stars who have a really, really tough time not harming women in some way. This dude's been doing it since the 90s, back when he had an illegal marriage to a 15-year-old girl, when he was 27. When you think of the abusive past that R. Kelly has, I just can't help but imagine that in Chris Brown's bedroom somewhere, he has a poster on his wall of R. Kelly, like somebody he's looking up to and kind of modeling his career off of. Speaking of Chris Brown, I have attached a link in the description of the police report of the incident that happened with him and Rihanna back in 2009. For those that don't know about it, it's extremely disturbing. I'll just go over some of the, I'm going to call them lowlights because that's what they are. There is despicable behavior from Chris Brown in police written document. The most of the incident happened in Chris Brown's car with Rihanna inside of it. Tried to kind of push her out of the vehicle while he was driving. She had her seatbelt on, so he smashed her face into the window of the passenger seat. Like, I don't know how Chris Brown, like, it's crazy how effective Chris Brown is at hurting women, as he was able to drive with one hand while punching Rihanna with his other hand. Rihanna fakes a phone call with her assistant, talking about calling the police. After the phone call, Chris Brown looks at her and says, and I quote, "You just did the stupidest thing ever. Now I'm really gonna kill you." After this, she tries texting somebody. Chris Brown, again, while driving, grabs the phone, throws it out the window. She kind of tries to free herself once again, and it turns into this back and forth punching. He bites her, she punches him in the face. After all this was over, Rihanna screamed for help, prompting Chris Brown to leave the car. Somebody in the area heard the screams, called 911, and then we have a police response to the situation. Like, that's Chris Brown. This is who Chris Brown is. When you listen to a song by Chris Brown, with Chris Brown, featuring Chris Brown, doesn't matter. You're listening to a guy who is capable of doing these disgusting actions. Between 2009 and 2018, again, Chris Brown has been at the center of so many different instances of scumbaggery. When he was asked about the assault charges on a talk show, he threw a hissy fit, broke a window. He lied about completing community service that followed the attack on Rihanna. He's been kicked out of 2 different rehabs because of his gross, disgusting behavior. He was accused of punching a woman at a Las Vegas concert following a party in 2017. There were accusations of sexual battery, assault, intentional infliction of emotional distress. Chris Brown is at the center of these things. He is a bad, garbage human being. And I could go on, but my point is very simple. People need to stop paying attention to violent abusers. Now with this documentary, R. Kelly is starting to maybe feel the heat and the consequences of his actions. And somehow Chris Brown has kind of skated through his career. His reputation is somewhat tarnished, but he still finds work. He's still on songs. People listen to him. Like, they released pictures of Rihanna after that incident. How was he not finished? How did he recover from that? How did people still feel okay to see his album or his name pop up on Apple Music or Spotify and click download, stream, put it on my music? I want to listen to what this guy has to say musically. Is it the whole we can separate art from artist? We've heard that before, but honestly, that excuse is getting pretty old. Don't listen to Chris Brown. It's not even unreasonable to skip over a song that features Chris Brown. The more people who make the conscious decision to not listen to this sorry excuse for a human being, the more likely he will not be popular. He won't be featured on songs because people won't listen to him. But it takes people not listening to him for him to stop making music, which is the goal of this, which is what we want. We don't want Chris Brown in the hip-hop game anymore. Honestly, I don't have any interest in what this violent, whiny, sorry excuse for a human being has to say. This has been another edition of Mr. D Rants. Thanks for watching.